didn't just sail ships. We invented the modern world in a dark room in Amsterdam. Do you understand that power? Look at them, trading papers in taverns like gold. This was the machine. Our greatest weapon was the certificate. Ordinary citizens rushed to buy a piece of the future. Speculation wasn't a gamble. It was our oxygen. Pepper was our gold. We built a web that reached every corner of the earth. We managed silver, spices, and lives. A global computer. By 1669, we were the most powerful entity on Earth. We owned the seas, we owned the East, and we were just getting started. The world became our balance sheet. The cost? Whatever we decided it would be. You want to know the truth? We didn't just sail ships. We invented the modern world in this very room. We were the Here in 17, the first shadow cabinet to rule the globe from the shadows of Amsterdam. With a single stroke of a pen, we could order the construction of a city or the execution of an entire island. Our only god was the balance sheet, and we were its high priests. Before us, the spice trade was a terminal gamble. One storm, one pirate, and your entire fortune was at the bottom of the ocean. The risk was absolute, so we changed the rules of the game forever. We invented permanent capital. Investors didn't just fund a voyage, they funded the company itself. Forever. We locked their gold into a machine that never stopped grinding for profit. Then came our masterstroke, limited liability. For the first time, you could lose your investment, but you couldn't lose your home. It was the birth of the modern investor, protective greed, codified into law. The world's first IPO was launched in 1602. Ordinary citizens, maids, bakers, and kings rushed to buy a piece of the future. The paper engine was starting, and Amsterdam was its heart. Before there was a building, there was the street. In the taverns and coffee houses, people traded shares in a company they could barely imagine. The first stock market was built on rumors, gin, and spice. By the mid-1600s, it was a fever dream of speculation. Amsterdam became the financial heart of the planet. Speculation wasn't a gamble, it was our oxygen. And pepper was our gold. The profits were real, but we didn't always pay in gold, we paid in spice. Investors were handed sacks of pepper as their quarterly earnings, dividends of blood and aroma. Everyone wanted more. And with the market came the predators. We saw the invention of the bear. Short sellers began betting on our failure before we even reached the horizon. Modern market manipulation was born in 1610, but the paper needed the sword. To protect the investment, we chose men of iron, like Jan Pieterszoon Cohen, a man who turned trade into conquest with a single rule. Trade cannot be maintained without war. Under our orders, the VOC crushed its rivals. Malacca fell in 1641, the Portuguese were swept aside, and the Indian Ocean became our private Dutch lake. We owned the water. At the tip of Africa, we built the Cape of Good Hope, a pit stop for a fleet that never stopped growing. A global infrastructure of greed, stretching from Europe to the edges of the map. We even tamed the Forbidden Kingdom. While Japan cast out the rest of the world, the Here in 17 struck a deal with the shogun. For 2 centuries, we were the world's only window into Japan. Silver from Japan, silk from China, spices from the islands. It all flowed into our accounts. We weren't just a company. We were the world's first global computer, managing silver, data, and lives. Amsterdam became the capital of the world, a city built on spice, fueled by blood, and drowning in gold. The Dutch Golden Age was a trillion-dollar dream that felt like it would never end. At our zenith, the VOC was worth $7.9 trillion, more than Apple, Microsoft, and Tesla combined. We remain the most valuable entity to ever walk the earth. Power beyond measure. We weren't just a company, we were a force of nature. We owned half the world's trade, and our reach was absolute. But success breeds a different kind of darkness. Even an empire of iron begins to rot. Corruption became our silent plague. Our own officers were trading for themselves. Profit was sacrificed for personal greed. The giant was eating itself. Corruption seeped into every level. The rot was terminal. We were losing our grip, and the here in 17 were too drowning in gold to see the rising tide. The end was coming. Then came the British, a new empire with a hungrier company. The Fourth Anglo-Dutch War bled us dry. Our ports were seized, our ships were hunted. The monopoly was shattering. We fought for every inch of water, but the monopoly was cracking. We were bleeding dry, and the British were circling like sharks in a storm. The giant was falling. The debt became a mountain we could no longer climb. In 1799, the giant finally collapsed. Bankrupt, broken, swallowed by the very seas we once ruled. The company was dead, or so they thought. We were swallowed by time, but we didn't really die. We evolved. We left behind something far more powerful than a fleet of wooden ships. We left our DNA. Look at the world today. Every stock ticker, every shipping container, every global boardroom. It's all built from our blueprint. We are the ghost in your machine, the eternal machine. Every time you look at a stock ticker, you are looking at the legacy of the here in the 17th. We are the eternal hunger for more, and we are still ruling your world. You thought we were history. We are the foundation of everything you know. The Dutch East India Company, the most powerful corporation in history, is still with us.